Hey, I'm Dylan Full, and today is paint day. I'm hoping it's the world's first pour-painted car, but I will claim world's first pour-painted Offroadster Miata. About a year ago, I left to travel the world, and it was so much fun. But something about being away from cars and not being able to drive over there got me obsessed with watching car videos on YouTube. When the world ended and I had to come back, I'm like, I want to keep making videos. What am I going to make videos about? And my dad just happened to be building a race car and had some other ideas to do some cool stuff with cars. So I dove headfirst into that. We bought a PT Cruiser for 500 bucks, took it to a motocross track and jumped it and wrecked it immediately. But that got me hooked. So then a few weeks later, me and some buddies were doing this off-road rally thing. We took a Subaru Outback up to the mountains, and it's called the Gambler 500. You're driving 500 miles through these forests with hundreds of other people in crazy $500 cars. And one of the guys there had a lifted Miata, and I thought it was the coolest thing. He was jumping all over the place, getting stuck and pulling himself out with a winch. It was the craziest thing. And then the next day, it was for sale on Facebook for $4,000, and we got it. I had to. I had just sold my Audi for $5,000 a couple days before and had the cash, so why not? But when I got it, it was this primer gray with all this texture, and it didn't look that great. And then I crashed it the first day. I had it into a fence and kind of scratched all the paint up, and it was just looking really haggard. This fender was all dented in. And I filmed a couple videos like that, and it was cool, but I didn't love how it looked. I wanted to make it look good. So I went to the junkyard, replaced this fender. That was a huge process, and then now we're about to paint it. I knew I wanted something different and cool, and I happened to come across this pour painting thing on YouTube one day, and that was a whole rabbit hole. There's millions of videos with millions of views, yet nobody has done it with a car as far as I could tell. I have no idea if it'll work or not, but either way, it's gonna look better than it was before, and I'm super excited to find out how it goes. My only fear is you gotta dilute it to get it to pour. And if I dilute it too much, it might be too translucent. I don't know how it's gonna go. But that's the fun of experimenting. I've never pour painted before in my life. I was supposed to practice, but really it took me 12 hours a day for the last 2 weeks to get it up to this point, and I just literally had no time. So we're gonna send it and see what happens. The big moment, it all comes down to this. The world's first pour-painted Miata Offroadster. Oh boy. Didn't go how I wanted. When I blow on it to thin it out, to spread it, it kind of just turns it to brown, which I don't want. Obviously, car paint is different than the craft paint that they're using. They're both acrylic, but I think this is acrylic enamel and this says latex, so that could be part of it. I don't know. Basically, this Floetrol stuff is way too thick, so it was like glue, and the paint looked perfect. Like, it's the exact design that I want. It was just like a 1/4 inch thick, and then when I started trying to spray it around, it was just blending rather than flowing, and it was turning it all brown, and it was still thick, and then it was already starting to cure, and so there was like a skin on top. So we're gonna try and do some type of mix of Floetrol, reducer, and paint. And it does seem already much thinner, and we'll test it out on this board real quick. But I think that's gonna be the ticket. just the paint and the reducer works. That's how I want it. The question is, do I scrape this again and start over a third time? It just separated from the black and it like screwed it all up. Dang it, because I just hate this and it's so thick, it's just gonna look gross if I try and go over it. There's no point in not doing it how I want, so I should probably scrape it and start it again. The problem is I'm gonna have to go to the store and get more black paint. This is round 4. All right, so I had to run to Hobby Lobby to just try and get regular acrylic craft paint and then the pouring medium that's meant for pour painting. And I snuck a peek at a pour painting how-to book and it says to mix it 4:1, so that's what we're gonna do. And this is the final try. If this doesn't work, it's never gonna work. That's what we're looking for. That is it. This is what I want the car to look like. All right, that's it. This is it. If I could just do that on the car. Over 3 weeks of work comes down to this. Messing with the fender and Bondo and sanding and prepping and screwing up the pouring 3 times and it finally working on the 4th time. The full reveal of Winky Shark, the first ever pour painted Offroadster Miata. All right, here we go. I am so pumped to take something from your brain that no one else has thought of doing yet and to achieve it in real life. I honestly couldn't be happier. Is the paint perfect? No. Did it take 4 times to get it there? Yes. But I am so proud of what I accomplished. I'm a driver. I don't know about working on cars. I've never painted a car before in my life. I've never pour painted before in my entire life. And we did it. This thing looks so wild. Is it gonna be everybody's style? Of course not. I don't even know if it's 100% my style. I'd probably be happy with just a fleet of totally black cars, but you gotta stand out, and this thing definitely stands out. It's gonna look amazing when I go flying 30 feet in the air. Up close, the paint definitely doesn't look good. That's why I call it a 30-foot paint job. From 30 feet away, when I'm flying off a jump, it's gonna look freaking sweet. Of course, none of this addressed the massive oil leak, the check engine light, the worn out timing belt, but that'll be for another video. I can't wait to test this thing out. I've got a ton of awesome videos yet to come. Make sure and subscribe. We'll see you next time. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I'm really curious what people are gonna say about it. It is one of the wildest paint jobs I've ever seen, much less done myself. I am super pumped. We have all kinds of cool stuff coming with this car, all kinds of sick driving videos. Make sure and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.